Ain't nobody got time for that. I was going downstairs to get me a cold pop, and I thought someone was barbecuing. I got bronchitis. I ain't got no time for that. All right, here you go. A little trick for you. Don't ask me to do it again. Okay? See it? Okay, here we go. I'll back up a little bit so you can get a wider picture. All I'm going to do is stuff it in my hand. See? Stuffing it in my hand. Okay, ready? There we go. Okay, there's the magic trick for the day. Here we go. Should have your chapter 16 packet out for the daily activity. No current event again today. We're going to go ahead and move right along into the content. The date is what is the date today? It is 1/15/2012. Learning target. Describe trench warfare during World War I. Feel free to do some research right now to answer that, or wait to revisit the learning target when we're all said and done. Okay, little quick reminder. Some of the causes for World War I. You have militarism, alliance system, imperialism, and nationalism. If you're not familiar with those terms, make sure you are. You can refer to page 2. You should have described those in your own words. Serbia didn't like Austria-Hungary, so Austria-Hungary, or that's because Austria-Hungary wouldn't give them any more land. Gavrilo Princip, a part of the Black Hand, assassinated the Archduke. The Austria-Hungary was reluctant to go to war with Serbia because they were supported by who? Russia. Austria-Hungary seeks the support of Germany. Emperor William II issues the blank check to Austria-Hungary, which gives them the support to declare war on Serbia. Russia, determined to support Serbia, fully mobilizes. Germany says, you better back up, dog. Back it up. Otherwise, we're going to declare war on you. You have 12 hours to do so. Gave them the ultimatum. Russia wasn't no punk. No, they weren't. So they stayed there. And, of course, Germany declared war on them. Now, Russia had a military plan, so did Germany, called the Schlieffen Plan. The Schlieffen Plan called for a what kind of war? Deuce front war. That's a two-front war. All right, so that was against both Russia and France, so they had to declare war on both of them. Because they went through Belgium, part of their Schlieffen Plan, it broke Belgium neutrality, which caused who to declare war on Germany? GB, dog, GB. That's Great Britain. Okay, so there you go. That is basically the outbreak of World War I. So it is going to be a much different war compared to the previous wars before it. And one of the reasons for that is the idea of trench warfare. So if you would, go ahead and turn to page 4. It's a blank page. What I'd like for you to do is go ahead, and I want you to do some additional research on trench warfare during World War I. Make sure it's during World War I. Describe it, give me characteristics of it. I want you to come up with 10 facts of trench warfare. They must be in complete sentences. I'm going to write that down right now, which means it needs to start with the capital letter and end with some kind of a period, exclamation point, question mark, whatever you want to do. Otherwise, you will not get full credit. No, sir. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you know that magic trick? Instagram that joint. Instagram that joint. All right, so pause. If you have not understood something, what should you do? Chicka chicka rewind. Ding, 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 ding. Chicka chicka rewind. So for the new kids, new students, pause right now. Research those 10 facts so you don't forget what you're supposed to do. Then come on back. Okay, page 5. If you feel like reading through it, go ahead. Otherwise, you do not have to do anything on it. Page 6. Yes, page 6. You will see page 7 gives you an illustration of trench warfare, such things as no man's land, barbed wire, the front line, underground bunkers, machine gun nests, which is an important one. I want you to look up some illustrations of trench warfare or a trench diagram. And on page 6, I want you to draw your own. And you can do that using your book, the World History book from the back shelf, or you can Google it. The things that you need to have on page 6. So you need to have an illustration of the trench warfare. You need to illustrate no man's land. Start writing these down or pause it. Pause. Come on back. You need to have barbed wire somewhere, and these all need to be accurate depictions of trench warfare. You need to have machine gun nests. You need to have underground bunkers in it. And then you need to have at least 3 more characteristics that you find within your research. So you need to make sure you at least have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of illustrations in your illustration of trench warfare. So pause, get that done. So don't really need to do anything with page 7. You can just use that as a reference guide. But go ahead and turn now to page 9. Now, during World War I, there are going to be a variety of weapons being used, such as the bolt-action rifle. I want you to annotate that box, figure out what that is. Machine guns are going to surface for the first time. Large field guns are going to emerge. Again, annotate that box. They're going to see for the first time chlorine gas and mustard gas, which is a very, very nasty weapon that was being used. Matter of fact, annotate this, and I want you to do research on mustard gas and write 3 facts about what mustard gas did. And write those right here. 3 facts of mustard gas. Then the Zeppelin. I'm not talking about Led Zeppelin. Ding, 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 ding. No, I'm talking about the Zeppelin, which was known as a blimp. It's not going to be very successful, but Germany's going to use these, which we'll talk about later. Annotate that box. Tanks. Remember we talked about militarism and industrialization. Because of that, things like tanks were being created. Annotate that. Planes are going to be used for the first time. And annotate that box. And finally, torpedoes. Annotate that box. Read about it and annotate it. Don't forget to research mustard gas and put 3 facts about that. Now, on page 8, I want you to go ahead and split this page in half. On the top half, I want you to choose 3 of the weapons that you think you would have used during this time, or if you were, you could choose out of any of those weapons, which ones would you choose and why? 3 of the weapons and why. Why? 3 weapons and why. That's a W if you didn't know. Yes. W, why. On the bottom half, I want you to research 1 additional weapon used during World War I that was not mentioned on page 9, and then describe what it was and how it was used. I don't know what else to say. So, let's go through it one more time. Don't put your stuff away until you get everything done. Page 4, you should have 10 facts of trench warfare during World War I, and those should be in complete sentences. Page 5, nothing needed to be done. Page 6 needed to be an illustration, including all the things that I mentioned before. What should you do if you haven't or don't remember that? You got it. Yickety. Rewind. Page 7 is just a reference page about trench warfare. Page 8, on the top half, you should have 3 weapons you would choose if you were fighting during World War I. Bottom half of that, on page 8, you should research 1 additional weapon used during World War I. Page 9, everything annotated, and should have 3 facts about mustard gas right here, which would take us up until page 10 and 11, which we'll do later. So get those things done, and Love you guys. Missed you. Glad to make a video. Thank God for technology. Chicka chicka. Peace.